Hello friends, today we're in the kitchen making super simple Thanksgiving side dishes. So if you're looking for some delicious but quick and easy side dishes that's going to keep you out of the kitchen and more time talking to your guests, then you're in the right place. The first recipe up for today is cranberry sauce. Pour one 340 gram bag of fresh or frozen cranberries into a sauce pot on medium-high heat. Add in 3/4 cup of brown sugar and 1 cup of apple cider. Now the apple cider that I'm using today isn't apple cider vinegar, it's actually apple cider. You can use apple cider if you want, or if you want you can use something like orange juice or even just plain water. I love the deep mellow flavor that the apple cider lends to this recipe. Since cranberries are already tart, it's the perfect balance of flavors. Give everything a quick stir and then cover, leaving a little space for steam to escape. I'm going to let this come to a boil and then cook it for about 10 minutes. And a little later on, I'll show you how to use part of this cranberry sauce to make a super quick and easy baked brie, which you can use as an appetizer. Once you start to hear the cranberries bursting inside the pot, I'm going to remove the lid and mash the cranberries. No need to fully puree these, I'm just giving them a quick mash with the back of my wooden spoon. And that's all there is to making this homemade cranberry sauce. Remove it from the heat and the cranberry sauce will continue to set up as it cools. Next up, we're going to build the broccoli casserole, which is honestly one of the easiest vegetable side dishes. First, I have a bag of frozen broccoli. I'm just going to pop this into my sauce pot with some water and let it boil for 5 minutes. And while the broccoli's cooking, we're going to make the creamy sauce. In my bowl here, I have 1 can of cream of mushroom soup, 1/4 cup of milk, 1 egg, and 1 cup of grated cheddar cheese. I'm just going to give this a quick mix, making sure all of the ingredients are evenly distributed. Now, if you're absolutely against using canned soup, click on the link here and it'll take you to a video where we're going to make broccoli in Mornay sauce, which is just broccoli in cheese sauce with a toasted breadcrumb topping. Now my broccoli is cooked and tender and I'm going to drain off the water. And to build this vegetable side dish, all we need to do is put the broccoli into a casserole dish and layer the sauce on top. I'm just going to pour in half of the sauce and mix it into the broccoli. Make sure all the vegetables are coated, and then I'm going to ladle on the last half of the sauce. Now all we need to do is the breadcrumb topping. I've already dried out some breadcrumbs. I just sliced some day-old bread. I sliced it into little cubes and then I put it in a 200 degrees Fahrenheit oven for about 1 hour until it's nicely dried. But you could also just as easily get store-bought breadcrumbs and use this as your topper. The homemade breadcrumbs that I have here are from some oatmeal molasses bread that I had on hand, which is why mine are looking a little darker. I'm just going to pop these into my food processor and pulse them until crumbly. And now drizzle on top 1/4 cup of melted butter. This is going to give us that gorgeous golden brown toasted topping while it's baking in the oven. Now all I need to do is sprinkle this over top of the broccoli casserole. And it's ready to bake in a preheated 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius oven for 35 minutes, or until the top is golden and toasted. This one always disappears fast at Thanksgiving. It's cheesy, creamy, with the perfect crunch on top. Next up is the classic sweet potato casserole. I got these sweet potatoes started before I started cooking any of the casseroles today. That way they would have time to cook and cool. To cook the sweet potatoes, I just pierced them with a fork and placed each in some foil. Drizzle each with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil before loosely wrapping them and roasting them in a preheated oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius. Let them roast away for about 1 hour and 30 minutes, or until they're very tender on the inside. This way of cooking sweet potatoes is the most flavorful and gives them a slightly caramelized sweetness, perfect for a sweet potato casserole. When the potatoes are done, set them aside to cool until you can easily handle them. Then you can open each little parcel and remove the skin, which should now easily peel off with just your fingers. Now I can pop my sweet potatoes into a baking dish. And here you can see all the little areas of the sweet potatoes that have started to brown, which is all those sugars inside the sweet potatoes starting to caramelize. This is going to concentrate and intensify the flavors in your potatoes. Now I don't need to do much to bring this casserole together. I'm just going to add in 1/4 cup of butter, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This casserole is already packed with a lot of natural sugars, so no need to add too much extra sweetener here. The lemon juice is just going to add a little burst of brightness and just a hint of salt for contrast. These sweet potatoes are already super soft, so all I need to do is mash them with my fork and mix everything together. And now all you need to do is top with mini marshmallows. And my casserole is ready to bake for 10 minutes at 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 200 degrees Celsius, or until the marshmallows are toasted. I know everyone seems to be over the marshmallow topping and has moved on to a crumbly nut topping, but I'm still sticking with the classic toasted marshmallows. And the last side dish on the list for today is mashed potatoes. I usually like to use a mixture of russet and yellow potatoes, but today I just have the yellow potatoes. It's going to make super creamy mashed potatoes. Wash, peel, and cut into chunks about 6 large potatoes. I'm going to put the potatoes and 3 cloves of garlic in a large pot of water and bring it to a boil. Let the potatoes cook for about 15 to 18 minutes. The time is really going to depend on how big or small the potato chunks are. So just allow yours to cook until they're fork tender. Then drain the potatoes completely from the water. I like to leave the potato chunks in the colander for a few minutes just to let any excess water evaporate off. Now to mash the potatoes, a potato ricer is my absolute favorite way to mash potatoes. There'll be no lumps whatsoever left inside and they'll be super smooth and creamy. And of course, use something like this, a potato masher. It will probably leave a few little lumps behind, but that just makes a more rustic mashed potato. If you or anyone in your family is a texture person, then you definitely have to try mashed potatoes made this way. If you're not using a potato ricer, make sure not to overwork the starches in the potatoes. This will leave you with mashed potatoes that are thick and gummy. Now to the hot mashed potatoes, I'm going to add in 1/3 cup of butter. Gently stir and melt this into the potatoes. Then I'm going to add in 1/3 cup of cream. Anything from 10% to 35% cream will work for this recipe. It all depends on how rich you want your mashed potatoes to be. Season with about 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. Stir everything together and then give it a taste. And you can add any more salt or pepper if needed. Just before serving, I'm going to drizzle a little bit of melted butter on top, and you can garnish it with a little bit of parsley or chives. These mashed potatoes are so smooth and fluffy, and in my opinion, a must for the perfect Thanksgiving table. And finally, for that quick and easy appetizer we talked about at the beginning, we're gonna make a baked brie. Now there are specific baked brie bakers that you can buy at the store, but you absolutely do not need one to make a baked brie. Just remove the brie cheese from the package and put it on a small piece of parchment paper. The parchment paper just needs to be a little bigger than the wheel of cheese. And now it's going to go into my preheated 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius oven for 15 to 17 minutes. This is just going to depend on how big your wheel of cheese is. You'll know it's done when the cheese feels soft and squishy when you press down gently in the center. The edges will also bulge slightly. After removing it from the oven, I'm going to place it on the serving platter, and then all I need to do is top it with my reserved cranberry sauce. This is the perfect easy appetizer to serve with crackers or as part of a festive charcuterie board. For the perfect stress-free Thanksgiving, do as much in advance as possible. Most of these recipes can be made a day or even 3 days before. Cranberry sauce is normally served cold anyway, so you can make that in advance and store it in the fridge until dinner time. Both the broccoli and sweet potato casserole can be made in advance and stored in the fridge. Then the day of the big meal, all you need to do is put on the topping and bake until golden and bubbly. That way there's no need to stress and do it all in one day. For Thanksgiving, I want classic when it comes to side dishes. These big family dinners make everyone want to feel nostalgic. People look forward to those classic mashed potatoes they grew up with. For me, this is the perfect Thanksgiving lineup. Sweet potato casserole, cheesy broccoli, homemade cranberry sauce, a baked brie, and garlic mashed potatoes. All quick, all easy, and all perfect for your holiday table. If you're looking for easy Thanksgiving side dishes or make-ahead casseroles, don't forget to check the links in the description box below. Thanks for cooking along with me today. If you're a fan of deliciously simple vintage recipes and old-fashioned skills, then you'll want to check out this next video. Thanks for stopping by.